The scam works like this. They essentially, let me show my, okay. So essentially the PI, like if you're a cartel guy or gal, you pay somebody to approach a PI. Right? Or you might approach it yourself because anonymous client rules and all that kind of weird stuff that they pull. But though, let's say you find out who the client is, and you find out who the PI is, and you have all that information. The PI will say, "Look, all I know is my boss told me to do this. I just go on what they say." Like the whole thing with Weinstein. Oh, we didn't know what was going on. We just, Weinstein asked us to do something. Right. And paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it, right? So, and then if you approach the because it's a setup, there's dirty cops everywhere. They're in on it. Then if you approach, because they'll even kill out other cops with this thing, right? If you approach the client will say, "I never told him to do that. All I said was to do this." And then they pay some more people, and eventually it goes away. So, the investigator's just a bullshit investigator too. Like if, somebody is assigned from the state police to look at PI licenses and things, if they actually ever do that, right? They just cover it up for a few hundred thousand or something. Right? And nobody's really investigating anybody. All they're doing is playing the game out. Right? If you're not covered under the game, then you're meat for the investigator. Right? That's the cover story. Like we're real investigators. We arrested people, right? That's the only reason we never beat the drugs. First is that corruption. Second is it was never really a war on drugs. A war on drugs requires war, not a law enforcement action. So if you want to call it a law enforcement, sounds like Vietnam, right? Can't win those. Right. I wrote them back in the, I guess about starting in 2007 or so. I told them, I said, I was hitting it, it's like Vietnam. I said, you can't win without surging. Now they surged, but again, the same mistake in Vietnam. They didn't surge into North Vietnam, which would have been at least Pakistan. Right. And then if they would have surged into Pakistan when I told them to, it was like 2007, 2008, they'd have caught bin Laden years earlier. Right. Well, it was just taking too long. Plus, if you'd have stayed away from me, I probably wouldn't have got involved at all anymore, ever again. Right. Because I walked away. I mean, their psyop worked. All that spycraft and the torture and the drugging and all that, it worked. I walked away and was going to do yoga and go, love, love, love. But they wanted to kill me. They couldn't stop. So I ended up back in government, like in this way. Right. Well, I had to keep my boss rank up. I mean, they'd have totally taken me out if I didn't have the boss rank. Right. I still kept working, and inside I work also. So I'm probably the most senior guy in government in reality, but I don't have anything physical in life. So, I am starting to acclimatize. I'm happy with that. Wasn't really that cold last night, and I had the heat like way down, like I think like 63 or something. I couldn't climatize. Somewhere in Kansas, they used something on me. Right? Spies know that stuff exists. God, who do you think work for Weinstein? Spies. You can call it PIs all you like. These are lethal spies trained in murder. Yeah. So in every combat scenario, as long as we move to civil affairs, it works. What broke the whole thing in again, it's the same thing as Vietnam. If you stay too long, then you're defeated. Like, right. So you did listen to me about going to the spec op stay behind force, but it just was like it was too long in the tooth. Right. You get in, you secure certain things, and like the trainers. Well, because that's why they were able to recruit all these people, right? Because you became the occupier in earnest, right? Agreed. Bro. Let's see if this is the one. I still haven't figured out how to make coffee even close to these cold brews. The cold. I forget what they call it. What do they call this stuff? I guess cold brew, cold coffee brew. No, it's some of the smoothest coffee in the world. I mean, every once in a while you might find a bean like this, but I moved around so much, and the price of my bean went up like immense. Well, a lot of beans are regional. That fireman's bean or something. I forget what it was called in Santa Fe. That was pretty good. I think it's an Arizona bean. Was there? I don't even remember which one it was. May have been there so much, I can't remember, but it was smooth as all get out. Great stuff. Man, it's too early to go to sleep. Drink a little coffee there. What time is it? It's 9. I'll be asleep by 11 or 12. It's watered down too. I haven't watered it down. Now they did something to me that, and I couldn't. I mean, I used to eat Tabasco. Again, I can now again. Eat Tabasco, drink coffee. I couldn't drink coffee. I couldn't eat Tabasco. I don't know if they were getting something that makes me think they had something in my food chain somehow. Now I knew they were breaking in. I couldn't eat anything spicy. I could barely eat regular food. Now they're sick. And they'll go to hell. They want to play their game. They'll pay in hell. Oh, there was no forgiveness for them. Jesus himself made requirements for forgiveness. Now, there's a long list of sinners and abominations, but everybody's in those lists. The only thing that's unforgivable is causing people to fall, and that's mostly a metaphysical because we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. Right. I mean, you could say it's partially physical, but again, it goes back to the idea that without the metaphysics, it doesn't work. So when you have all these foreigners here that want to make money from the drugs, what do you think happens? Our people get addicted to drugs. Plus, the baby boomers are so greedy, right? And then the people they select are so greedy that they destroy the ability for the average American to make it. It's all metaphysics. So when these foreigners come over, they start paying some money, donations, and things like that. Again, just like the LDS Church, the big Hispanic donations and the Hispanic workforce. Right. I'm sure they aid in narcotics distribution somewhere. It may be actually a secret to their money. Right. Well, because I can't tithe like a Sinaloa cartel member can tithe, or a Tren de Orega can tithe. So I'm sure they want them in their church. I've been around religion enough to know about the donation scam. Again, politicians tend to be the same way. Well, should I say been around corrupt religions enough? Or did I say that? Got the freeze warning on. Yeah, she said we can't drop the heater below 55, and I wouldn't. I don't think I want to be that cold, but we'll see. I don't think I'd put it below 60. Right. There's a whole different animal living in like a single family dwelling, even though it's just a trailer. But again, it's a modern trailer. This is not your father or mother's trailer. Right. It's still got the double wide thing down the center, which I wish they could do away with somehow. I would think they could do something better, but right. Because you should be able to put all that bulk on underneath. Right. And up here, it should just be something a little flatter. Right. I mean, again, if I'd have moved into trailers years ago, I would have already figured this out and sent the information to the trailer builders. Right. But again, you can't. I mean, for what I'm paying, again, I understand some people are paying less. Some of the people here are paying 9, 8, and 50, maybe 1,000. But right, I got a pretty good size place, and it had it shed. That's primo. I just wish the shed was bigger. I'd have made it a few feet bigger each way. And then it would have been primo. No, there's no doubt. Like, again, sometimes there's a small argument they can make, but when they go too far, then it blows the whole argument out of the water. So, wait, is my stuff too loud here? Test. That's test when I speak the other way. So, I'm glad they showed the bales and stuff. We have to start, highlighting that and highlight it on the ship too, because I could see it. But like the average American doesn't know that if you look and you see that dark area on the ship, most like, again, sometimes it's inside the ship and subsurface or whatever, right? The boat. So, but again, most of it's piled behind it. And these things are quick jaunts. Again, they bring up arguments that really don't hold water. Yeah, they island hop that stuff, or nation hop it, right? Again, I don't know. I guess Colombia president was trying to say that these aren't the rich drug dealers, but they need not to do it. It's just that simple. I mean, again, Colombia is not a good nation to have that argument with, because their whole thought process. I was a correctional officer in when was that? 1993 and 94, I think, or 92 through 94 or something like that, and 19. And you talk to them and they go, "Well, it's not our fault. You people buy it." So again, that's the argument that's probably in the president of Colombia's mind. He won't say it, but hey, your people are buying it. We're just supplying your need. I mean, that's bullshit. They're willing people to be addicted, right? Whatever happened in Mexico with that guy that was supposedly CIA, or was he just some veteran that was whacked, or what? Or whatever he was. Yeah, that stuff happened if he was anybody tied to anybody in any way. Right. Again, if any drinking goes on, it goes on in a controlled environment. They're not allowed outside the controlled environment with especially alcohol. Right. Again, there's a certain number of people who don't get inebriated and they're in control of the whole thing. Right. What are you, Larry? Yeah, that shit that happened over in I don't know, the whole thing with the SF guys, and I mean, that's just too much. Right. I know it was a combination of things that caused it, illicit substances, but and then of course the diplomatic security stuff was insane. Like, the Hillary, Hillary Clinton was just protecting the people that work for her. It wasn't like you all act like it's her scandal. It wasn't her scandal. It was like the state that it was the employees' scandal. She protected the employees, right? But I was just the same type of people that did my life, though. Really, right? Same quality of people. Oh my God! Thanks, Larry. Nah, the Clintons are less culpable than most in a lot of things. I mean, yeah, they're ruthless, but Trump's ruthless too. So, right. Oh, shit. Hang on. Two fled during canine response review. Go back. I'm back. All right, it's reading something from Florida. I have to get a different phone so I can read it. Something about a prowler call. I don't know. Something's brewing. The canine response and two fled, and I don't know. I don't know if it's something bigger. Oh yeah, I was talking about that woman. So at first I was just like thinking, I'm gonna try to think some things. It's just sad because I know I'm being blocked from women, and she's one of them on the other side, being can't get with me, where she would have a real life and I would have a real life. Now I understand narcotics addiction would not allow us, but if she had a bad narcotics, it wouldn't allow us to have a good life. Right? She would just relapse. But then again, maybe not. Again, I have a lot more to put into her head before she would relapse. Right? Reality. Right? But she's being gang stalked by some sort of narcotics entity. That's what I believe, and sex trafficking. Right? They're keeping her stuck in shit life. Right? They did it to Monica Maurice. So again, that whole cartel thing, it's also bringing these psyops. Now, of course, the mafia's got their psyops. Everybody's got their PIs that they hook up with to extort someone or to try to cause suicide or murder or violence in a victim. Right. Because that money pays. And they got the money to pay those people, they'll do it. Right. They have no soul. Spies have no soul. They're satanic. Well, I gotta say, Colombia's got this attitude. All right, I'm reading too much. I got to stay away from reading, or it's going to mess this thing up. So then I'm sitting there, and it took me to her Facebook page because I was trying to do research to figure out what the hell's going on there, right? And I saw those videos, and I'm like, oh, I couldn't even watch them. It just whacked my head, right? Because it's living proof of the whole thing, right? I'm a victim of psychological torture, and so is she, right? 100%. If I didn't have such a strong background in military and law enforcement and religion, I wouldn't. I'd probably be in her shoes somehow, right? Like somebody like me could have been out there looking 10 years ago, and they block them, right? 100%. Because that's when if she'd have been extracted at the right time, her life would have straightened out, right? Yeah, it was weird because I looked at the one video and I'm like, oh yeah, she knows. And then I looked at the second video and it got even weirder. I'm like, I didn't I didn't listen to the whole thing. I can't. It's just too much. Right? But she get her into some counseling. But the problem is, if you go to counseling, I don't know if she knows, you can't tell the doctor about the stalkers. that's the stalker scam to say you're crazy, right? 100%. Now, not all doctors will say that. My pain management doctor understood what I was saying, and he goes and he was like adding to it. Right now, there's one psychologist. One of the things a psyop does. Now he's just pain management, but I was going to that one psychologist. Like I feel like I had to go touch base with him for some reason. I didn't know why. Right. Right. He was willing to accept me as a patient, but I just, I think I ended all my counseling for a while and just didn't go. But I was in all that pain and stuff, and I was like, I need to keep my head straight. Just precautionary again. I'm an intelligent being, right? Because I'm totally alone. If I had a wife, I wouldn't need a counselor. I'd talk to my wife, right? Right. And they know that. That's why they didn't let me have a wife. Right. And then any woman that I date falls in love and will want to marry me. That's why they do it the way they do it. They know all it takes is for a woman to meet me, spend about a month with me, and that would be it. Right. Because I'm a great guy. I mean, come on. But thank you, Lawrence. So the guy, one of the part, they cursed me not to remember it. I just think I got to it. So the guy was a victim of these psychological operators before. So he thinks, because this is the hard part, is to figure out where it is, where it isn't, while you're talking to people. So you got to try to act natural. But at first, I think he thought I was one of the operators trying to screw with him. I really believe that's what it was. And then he kept asking me, like, did they do this? Did you do that? Because they did him before. Right. They tried to run him off the road. Right. They asked me if they tried to run me off the road. So I know that he was. At that point, I'd be like, they were going after him. Yeah, they try to road rage you, but part of it is trying to run you off the road. Now remember the inspector that Matt Fogg speaks about. What was that guy's name? I can't remember. The black guy, the other inspector. I have to get a phone and look it up. He was driven off the road when I think I don't think I yeah, I didn't find out about that whole episode. See, God keeps parts from me just to show how real this all is to me, right? So I never knew about that inspector until a certain point, and then I didn't know that he was run off the road until a certain point. But they'd already tried to run me off the road a couple times when. Well, I'm trying to tell you, they're with the cops. They're dirty cops, okay? There's no way that anything's going to happen. You call a cop, will tell you it didn't happen. Right. That's the scam. You're crazy. It didn't happen. Thank you, Lawrence. Inspector, what was that black guy's name? Was he a Sagar too? I can't remember. Right. I'll tell you what, those wackos like Shelton and Henry, it's so easy to get them to attack a special operations group guy. Right. And not that I was special operations group, but I was, had kind of a persona going or the look. Right. Let me see. Yeah, I remember working and I don't know, I call the guy Remington Steele. I don't know what his real name is. And when they were trying to pressure me to go into SOG. Like, come on. It's like I can't say, well, the CIA is trying to kill me, and I don't think it's a good idea. During a CIA assassination. Right. They're beating me up like a redheaded Jonathan Luna. All right, let me see here. See if AI knows who this is. Inspector, Deputy U.S. Marshal that was run off the road that Inspector Matt Fogg speaks about. Or Chief. He was a chief. Something like that. Oh, there's no AI. The AI's afraid of that, isn't it? Chicken AI! Matt Fogg. No, I don't have to agree with everything Matt Fogg does for him and I to overlap, you know? Like, I was never like that. I was just like I didn't even, like, have things to say about him. I was just like, people are like, "Look, this guy Matt Fogg. He's a piece of shit." There's this guy Arthur Lloyd. He's a piece of shit. Why do they always happen to be black? Is there something else going on here, Michael Savage? I don't remember this guy's name. Inspector U.S. Marshal that was run off the road. Well, that's the other one. Was dragged by a vehicle. Yeah, he probably doesn't. Yeah, he's just chicken at this kind of stuff. I swear they did something to my what's that thing called? My Amigo, my one Amigo. I like a tie rod end or something. Like I was going like 25 miles an hour. It flipped. It could have killed me, but my whole driver's compartment was untouched. The passenger's compartment was completely crushed. It was It flipped. I downshifted, and the steering wheel went to the right. I'm like, what? Right. So I think something disconnected. Let me look up Matt Fogg video because he says the name in this one video. They still don't know who ran him off the road. Of course not. They don't know where Ray Gricker is. They want to, they don't know what happened with Jonathan Luna. Of course, they don't know who ran the inspector deputy marshal off the road. I just think, yeah, let me do my work. Just let me work. Go away. I just want to do my job. Go away. Oh, is this one former deputy?
What he's saying here is there is a lot in law enforcement that is wrong, but we need protection. I dare say to you this: when I won my case, everybody said to me first, Fogg, don't take on the Justice Department. Don't go forward. You know what happens to cops when they blow the whistle and they speak out. Your career will be destroyed. And not only that, but they will probably kill you or set you up in a stake. And believe it or not, that happened. My backup actually left me in a stakeout. My black partner, who also raised a discrimination complaint about the internal improprieties, wound up dead. Somebody ran his car off the road. They don't know who killed Bill Scott to this day.
Bill Scott. That's it. Yeah, he's Fogg, I think. Oh, yeah, Larry. No, I would never get that name. Not in a million years. But like, I didn't know anything about that. They'd already tried to run me over or run me off the road. Not run me over. Run, maybe did I ever get run? I think once or twice, but run me off the road a couple times, and that was before I knew that about Bill Scott. You're Bill Scott, somebody else, right? You keep coming up. Go away, Bill Scott. Metro PD. I don't know. Where San Francisco police? Why are you coming up now? Is there something we should know, Mr. Scott? Oh, no, wait. Stephanie Wiggins hires police chief. Wait, what's going on here? What's going on here? What's happening? Ah! Chief William Bill Scott. Oh, he's a San Francisco police chief. I gotta look you up later. I gotta find out this other Voskov, how he was killed. Probably ran out the road like me, but I didn't end up off the road. I wonder if he gauged them with like, because they try to get you to engage them in a road rage type of thing. Yeah, here's this. This is like, this is amazing that this is on the internet. It's from January 25th, 1999. CBS News. The real Marshal Service. I think Bill Scott was Sog. He's Mitchell. Yeah, so Bill Scott, we have to. That's a Q, I guess. SFPD. Malachi Fallon. Brent Secret. W. McKenzie. Let's see. So now it's Bill. He's just got fired, I guess. Or is he still there? Is he still there? Was Inspector Bill Scott part of the Special Operations Group in the U.S. Marshal Service? Get information. He was a decorated deputy U.S. Marshal known for filing a high-profile Bill Scott. Yeah, that's fires wrong. I thought he was some son, I guess not. He's just, I guess, fugitive operations. I can't what his claim to fame was. Besides being killed by the deep state. Reached down with, and that's the last thing I remember. Everything went black. Speaks from the dead, but that's not him. Soils. Right, let me see Bill Scott. Let's see if we can find anything. Was Inspector Bill Scott a fugitive inspector? I don't know. They scrubbed the internet, right? I did find a photo of him once and some other information, but I don't remember where it is. I know I posted it somewhere. So what happens is the guy from San Francisco's there and it keeps blocking all the other stuff. See, he doesn't even come up anymore on a Google. He used to come up on a Google. Let's see. Yeah, I think probably. I don't know if I'll be able to get to it, but it's probably on my. It's probably on one of my social media. Let's bring up the people they killed. Huh? Oh, yeah, you're getting angry out there in FU land. They want to act like they just kill certain people, you know. They always have somebody like deserves to be killed that they'll always talk about, and they'll try to put that on everyone else they ever tried to kill or did kill. Right, it's part of the psyop. They were done. Let's do it. Oh, that Letitia James case doesn't look good at all. Nah, it doesn't look good because she didn't collect rent. She let a family member. It's a family member too. I mean, if it wasn't a family member, you probably could maybe figure something out. I even that'd be all right. But she's a family member, and you just ask for some, some utility money. I mean, right? Candace Owens. I wonder if even Candace owns his mind. Sometimes if she stabbed Altman and Thiel, she doesn't know if they'd bleed. Could be the Antichrist. Claims feds killed Kirk. Nah. There could be people involved in a psyop that are related to the federal government to kill Kirk. Yeah, but it's not like some. That's the weird part. Again, I don't know what it's like in the government, but through the years, people spoke out. And Danielle Marks used to speak about people who never did any work. Right? They would do the deep state stuff. They don't have to work. They just do every once in a while. They do deep state stuff. Like Karen Shelton, when they were executing me, they used to try to get me to stalk her. Right. 100%. So she would come around me. She'd drive around me and stuff. Right. And she went over to Jim Spicer's. Like, what the hell's she doing there? Right. Thanks, Larry. No, she can reject a strike against the drug votes, but it's just going to get bigger. Right. Now, Vance already said it. He went over there to babysit the ceasefire. I mean, it's obvious that there's certain people that are carrying weapons in the Gaza, and they can't be there. We're not status quoing it. Right. Now, as long as Israel doesn't kill the children wholesale, I mean, obviously there's collateral damage, but the United States even did it. And that's another problem we had over there in Afghanistan, Iraq. Too much collateral damage. Well, you become the enemy. Right. People have no clue. You just repeat history all the time. Yeah, dinosaurs were thriving until asteroids struck. Bring another one, God! But that's who you actually are. Like this whole thing about reptilians. There's a group. Okay, so reincarnation is real for some people, not for others. Right? Some people come here, live a life, and go home. Like Paul said, we live this one life. Right? Rabbi Yeshua is he's a follow-on act, I guess. They never met. Or actually, no, I don't think he ever did. Paul ever meet you? I don't think he did, right? Because after his life. But Rabbi Shul, right? So some of you are the dinosaurs reincarnated, and now you're humans. So you are dinosaurs. You are reptilians. So again, people will say things and it may seem weird, but God can actually lead you to something close to what they're saying, but it's actually a little bit off. So that's, again, stuff you receive in the psychic world can skew very easily. Like the gifts, like Rabbi Shul said, the gifts are not perfect any longer. No, that's why they're so primitive in their thought process. Could be Hamas. Could have been dinosaurs reincarnated fighting other people on the other side that are dinosaurs reincarnated, still playing that same battle while we're stuck here with these idiots. So who's helping? Who is she helping? The question. So what's important? Oh, okay, yeah. What's important in this particular investigation? What What lessons learned? Right. Larry. No, I think a lot of times some of it is we just need to light up the accident scene better. Or maybe the way she positioned her vehicle, maybe somebody could have came up with a better way to do it. So we need to, after action, review that and figure out what could have made that safer, such as lighting, positioning a vehicle. Right. We need to, after action, review that. Period. What would have made a difference, comma, such as lighting, position of vehicle, etc. It keeps coming. I keep saying it, so there's got to be something there that we could have did different. And again, I spoke about it before. This time I added the red and blues. I don't think did. I put that in there before. I can't remember. But we need lighting kits, and it should be like a one button. Again, it's just like the wall. You know how they ask for bids and all that. So have people come up with different lighting systems. Like, I mean, it could be like a Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down lighting system. I don't know. Again, you want it compact, and then you want to hit that button. That button should spring loaded open to a full size, and turn the light on, right? And then you could adjust it from there, right? So 3 sides should be red and blue strobes. You got to play around with the intensity to make that safe but yet visible, right? And then one side should be like to light the crime scene and or accident scene. And again, when not involved in a situation where we're worried about shooters, like you don't want to wear a spotlight in the middle of your head when you have shooters. Right? When you have a shooter or somebody, it could become a shooter. But when we're trying to treat somebody and save somebody's life, we should be able to throw on one of those headlight things, right? Headlamps, click, and then our hands are free. Right? Also, if you get whatever again, fire people go in, but maybe you have to do something around a fire scene, right? So every officer should have a fully charged headlamp that they can put on, and then also a crime scene, at least 2 crime scene light stands, compact with spring-loaded opening or however it is. Who knows? You can maybe have like a Zodiac raft or something. I don't know. Like one of those little clowns you beat up as a kid. Remember those? You blow them up and beat them up. It could be some sort of light system. Right. Nice, Larry. So you have to go look for bids for that. Well, again, there was no lighting or something. I mean, it looked like it happened real quick. So again, something could have been done. Right. Well, again, let's say you pull up to the vehicle. I don't know what's going on. She may have even been in a squad car. I didn't read the whole thing. I have to, but again, she may have to pull away from that vehicle at first, then lay the lighting out, and then pull up. I don't know. Whatever it is, right? Or she could have put her vehicle in a catty corner, like on a angle. Right. But then again, then the lights on the side lights too. I was bringing that up, and side cameras. Do we have side cameras in the cars? I brought that up years ago before they killed me in Kansas and Oklahoma and probably Texas too. I think I brought it up a couple times. There should be tracker it should be wide angle would work too, or a camera that tracks. To wide angle is probably the easiest. So if we have a light bar on top, the sides of the vehicle should have a camera, not just the front and back. Because if you look at a lot of these where the officer gets tackled or whatever, they go out of the camera view. Or you're right. So in the light bar itself, there should be a space for a wide angle camera, or it could have it built in, a wide angle camera. Again, it should be able to be taken out and serviced and changed with a better camera or a different camera, right? So a light bar should not only contain the strobe lights, there should be on the sides, there should be 2 cameras that feeds into the dash cam camera. And then also still work on that feeding camera between vehicles. So there should be somewhere it should be able to feed camera from the dash cam into whoever, like if another officer is responding, that officer automatically sees the dash cam of the officer on scene, that kind of thing. The goal of the whole thing, and again, you could do that with I don't know if you can do it with that. Like my hearing aid, I think know if I fall on the ground. I don't think I have it set up or anything. No, we have to, because you could have it where dispatch will try to contact the officer. Right. When they're down. But again, that's right. So if we have dash cam and these other, so if we have a 360 cam, so we have we have side cams on the light bar, we have the dash cam and the rear cam, right? And then we feed that to dispatch to when an officer's on an active call, dispatch is also watching. So if your officer's down, officer doesn't even have to make a call because the dispatch can call. Right. And I think, or not most, but a lot of the officer down situations lead to death. There's a lapse in the time that the officer goes down and that their response, a motorist or another officer shows up. Right. So uh, if dispatch is watching, and then also the other officers can also watch. Right. If you're out there cruising around and another officer, again, just try to make sure you do everything right. I mean, I know there's a risk of, it just being too invasive, but again, yeah, it's the only way to do it to make sure everything's well. I don't know if you're hearing anything I said. It closed me out. All right, stay peaceful. Praise